Yes. Welcome, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the Secondary Heroes Artist Alley here on the Nerds Unite Network. We've been doing this all week long. We're going all through the weekend. And we are proud and happy to have on the show today with us Todd Nauck, who is a legendary comic book artist. So welcome, Todd.
Thanks, guys. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course.
Yeah,
anytime.
awesome, man.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. This is something we're doing, as fans for the fans, especially because I think a lot of us love Artist Alley, and we wanted a way to bring that to the other fans. So this is why we're having you on here today. And for those of you who are joining us right now who don't know who we are, my name is Prague, and I'll let the others introduce themselves.
This is
your
Josh.
host, Trevor.
And
I'm DeLorean Wolfgang, or Alex.
Very nice. Oh, look at you,
man,
Mr. Show-Off. So for those of you who are watching that don't know, we had our panel last year, and we were supposed to have another panel this year, but it got canceled. So,
Unreal, man.
I know, no panel for us this year, unfortunately.
Right.
But yes, we're gonna let some people filter in here. So I think Geek Together is still kind of wrapping things up a little bit. Before we dig in here, I know we have Jason. He is in the chat right now, who said that he picked up Todd's Jean Grey sketch this week, fundraiser for Hero Initiative.
Oh, yeah, right on. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
On Wednesday night, I did my preview night art live stream to do some sketches for Hero Initiative, because that's what I usually do during preview night. Is I'm a guest at Gabe El Tayyib's comic kickoff party. Gabe El Tayyib is a colorist for DC Comics. He and I worked together on a Robert Kirkman book, Invincible Universe. So that's how we became friends. So So I figured, hey, let's see what I can do for the Hero Initiative. So
awesome. Well, it's good that they're still doing that, even though it's canceled. That it's going to a good cause.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Wow. Yeah, so I'm guessing you've been going to San Diego Comic-Con for years now.
1994 was my very first one.
Oh, my God. They're not very long then,
just 26 consecutive Comic-Cons, yeah.
Oh, I was 9 years old.
I was in my early 20s. I was 23 years old, and Rob Liefeld had just hired me to work for his Extreme Studios, and that was my first time to go to San Diego Comic-Con, and it just blew my mind. Even back then, it was still huge. Not huge like it is now, but still much larger than any other con in the U.S.
What's it
that's
like?
amazing.
What's it like being hired by Rob Liefeld?
I was thrilled. I was a fan of his New Mutant stuff and on. So I really enjoyed the energy and excitement of his work, and I was, eating up all the Image comic stuff. I was sending my samples to every Image studio, as well as Marvel, DC, any publisher that would take a look at my stuff, I would send it in. So when I got hired by Rob, it was like, oh my gosh, he's one of my favorites, and I get to go to California and work for him. I was flipping out. It was so exciting. It was such an exciting time in comics, and then to break in at that time, it was an exciting time for fans and collectors, and then to break in as a professional at that time was just so weird.
Very much so.
Wow, man, that is wild. So it looks like we've got about 50 people in the chat right now, which is great.
Welcome everybody.
Welcome everybody. At this, I would actually love to know a little bit more about you. How'd you get your start? Where, what got you into art?
Let's see. What got me into art was just innate. Earliest memories are of drawing, like age 3, scribbling in a circle at the kitchen table on a piece of paper with a crayon, going hamburger. So I'm pretty sure my first drawing was a picture of a hamburger. At least the first one I remember.
Was it in ketchup?
It's awesome.
Like ketchup and mustard, just like drawing with his fingers.
Yeah. Well, that's how I work nowadays.
Oh, of course.
You don't forget those skills. So, try to be avant-garde with my comics, trying to push the boundaries. So, condiments is my go-to medium. So that was always a passion of mine. Always loved superheroes. Started with superhero toys, led to superhero cartoons. And by the time I was in junior high, I started reading comic books, because the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends cartoon introduced me to Marvel characters I hadn't heard of.
Wow, that's
and these X-Men characters I needed to know more about. And they only had 3 episodes, and I had to know more about them. So that led me to comics. And then a year after collecting comics, I made my first homemade mini comic of my own characters. I was a freshman in high school, 1985, and it was so much fun. I knew that night, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I just got to teach myself how to do it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I kind of had a similar experience, but then I was lazy. I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I'm like, wow, I had to actually learn how to do this. Forget that.
Well, I lived way out in the country, so I had no other choice. It's like, what am I going to do? You know, it's like, go walk in the woods or go draw a superhero. It's like,
there you go. Yeah. Very nice. We got a lot of people saying hi to you in the chat.
Yep.
Hello.
Yeah. A lot of folks saying hi.
A lot of people are very, very excited that you're here too. People are waiting all day for this. They're saying, I like it.
Wow. Oh, right on. Yeah, I did hype this on my last YouTube live stream today, my afternoon live stream, letting them know I'm going to be on Secondary Heroes. Follow me on Twitter for the link. I'll be tweeting out the link. So hopefully some of those people that came over from my YouTube as well.
Yeah,
very cool, man. Yeah, that's very neat. Josh, do you want to take the first question?
Sure, yeah. Our good friend Ed, he asked, Todd, what was your first influence?
Let's see. Interesting way to phrase that. What was my first influence? Because often people ask, what comic book artist influenced you? But my first influence, I would probably say, would be the very limited anime I got to encounter as a child of the late 70s on into becoming an 80s kid. So that would be shows like Battle of the Planets, G-Force. I mean, we all know that one.
Right.
Star Blazers and Force 5 Shogun Warriors.
Okay.
With like King, Vanguard, Star Avengers, things like that. So that style was so different, so exciting, so fluid. That really, I think, started to influence me. But then once I got into reading comics, I was then heavily influenced by Western, American comic book styles.
Yeah, but I can see the kind of that blend of those two styles in your artwork, though.
Yeah.
Kind of it's more kind of fun, loose. I don't know if I want to say cartoony, but yes, there's more vibrancy to your style than it is kind of a traditional comic book.
I accept the word cartoony. There's a spectrum. There's like Alex Ross on one side, and really cartoon on the other, and then there's like that middle section, and that's always been my favorite artist sweet spots. Arthur Adams, Rick Leonardi, Walter Simonson, some of my biggest influences. I felt that they were in that kind of middle sweet spot that kind of walked the line between cartoony and realistic. And not carnies.
I like that word though. Those carnies down there drawing that stuff.
I love the carnies. Realistic guys, the carnies.
That's hilarious.
So that was my sweet spot, and so I don't find cartoony as an offensive descriptor of art styles. I think it's legitimate, and I embrace it. I think it's a legit way to describe it.
Yeah, and it's fun
if we think of the spectrum.
Sure. Well, next time I run into Adam, I'll tell him that he is very pseudo carny, and that's from Todd.
No, don't throw me into this.
No, okay.
I throw myself under my own buses, pal.
Oh, that's funny. I like that. What is it? CZOR4 says, yeah, like Alex Ross to Scotty Young spectrum. Sure. Yeah, Scotty Young has a very cartoony style too.
Very
cartoony. A lot of fun. And it works well because he sells well at the Marvel booth every year, those pins. So sure.
Absolutely.
But how did you, I would want to ask before we get into another question from the chat, like how did you kind of create then your style that you kind of came up with that got you noticed?
Yeah, it was kind of an evolution. I think our styles is oftentimes built on our favorite artists that we gravitate towards as kids or young artists, young readers. It's like, I like this guy, and this guy, or whichever artist. And so we start to kind of pull from them. And we're like looking at their comics while we're doing our drawings, trying to emulate that. But then we start to get to a point in our study, in our practice, where we start those training wheels, I call those the training wheels, they pop off and you start pedaling on your own. So when I went to art school and started having life drawing classes, design classes, perspective classes, and when I started putting the rubber to the road of I've got to be able to produce pages, I can't sit there and have the luxury of flipping through an Arthur Adams X-Men annual to find that right pose that can inspire me or show me how to draw it. It's like, I got to get in there and do it myself. So it kind of has that. So I still have those training wheel flavors, that Arthur Adams flavor or that Rick Leonardi flavor or that Mike Wieringo flavor. But I was able to, once I stopped looking at that stuff, I was able to kind of grow on my own. And my style kind of evolved into what it is now. And I look forward to seeing what it evolves into in the future.
Do you ever go back and look back at some of your older stuff and just think, oh my God, what was I thinking there?
Yes, every artist does that. Absolutely. It's like, I've learned now to have grace on 20-year-old Todd or 30-year-old Todd. It's like, That's all he knew at that time, you know.
Oh,
the journey
that's
was
cool,
only
man.
there at that point. So I can't beat myself up for what I knew then, because that's only what I knew. It's like, and that's what I did. And hey, people enjoyed, you know, my Extreme Studio comics. I'm not going to, you know, tear those down, because that's what I did at age 23, 24. And I have evolved to what I do now. And so,
Exactly,
so it's that spectrum and evolution of an artist. I love watching my favorite artists evolve. You know, I look at earlier Umberto Ramos stuff. I remember discovering his work on a Superboy fill-in issue, and then into Impulse and Crimson, and onto everything else he does. Spider-Man, it's like, whoa, that guy's changed a lot. And it's like, I loved what he did in that Superboy fill-in issue, but what he does now, you know, on Strange Academy, it's like, this is so different, but still, it's all amazing. A spectrum of amazing.
It's funny to see that, because
awesome.
I've noticed that too. Is I, you know, would go in and out of like my love of comics, and there was a period where I kind of like wanted away, and I come back and I'm like, wow, you know, people like Adam Kubert, I'm like, wow, his style, like I didn't realize it was him at first when I saw one of his newer X-Men runs. I'm like, what is this? This is not the X-Men that I followed when I was, you know, following Adam. So yeah, it's really neat to see that evolution. So yeah, don't destroy your old works. So save them if you're an aspiring artist.
Absolutely. I still have my high school drawings. When I was a freshman in high school, I started to put my, you know, sign it and put the date I drew it on, so I could look back to know where have I come from, how far have I grown over the
I love
months or
that.
years. So it goes back all the way to at least 1985.
I think recently we had Nathan Hamill on, and he was pulling out shoe boxes of like old stuff from when he was like a 10-year-old.
And he was giddy about it too. It was pretty funny.
Was giddy. He loved going through it. It was amazing seeing that stuff. So yeah, I could totally see, like, to be able to go back and see your little journey, you know, to where you are now is just amazing. Yeah.
It is. Well, nice, Josh. Do you have any more questions from the chat? So I saw a bunch fly
Oh,
by.
I'm seeing a lot coming through. Yeah.
So Jason asked, what do y'all think of New Mutants footage today? And he says, Todd, the magic arm was pretty cool.
The magic arm?
Yeah.
I didn't see the trailer today.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet either. So I don't know.
Of course, I don't really watch trailers. I'm not a trailer guy.
That's
oh
like
my
Trevor.
God! Say with these guys. What the hell?
Really? Okay,
I don't want to be spoiled. I just want to know what's going to happen.
Trailers are the worst.
Exactly.
No.
Force Awakens turned me off to trailers. After Force Awakens,
It tells you the whole
Chewie
story.
We're home,
Yeah.
Chewie We're home moment is like, oh, I'm so gut punched. The power that scene had to little 7-year-old Todd. How better would that have been if I'd seen it in the context of the story and just got surprised by it on the big screen? I would have been an emotional wreck. And so it's like, you know what? Who needs to convince me to see a Star Wars movie or an MCU movie?
Right.
I'm already
Nobody.
sold out.
Yeah.
Stranger Things, yeah. Show me the trailer for Stranger Things, because I don't know what this is. I'm intrigued. I'll go to Netflix and watch.
Sure.
Okay. But now I don't need to see another season 2. Don't show me the Stranger Things season 2 trailer. I'm already in. I love season 1. Tell me what day season 2 is available. I'll tune in. Same with the movies. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see
trailer
it.
questions.
Maybe you need to be a host on this podcast.
This was
Damn
spot
it.
on.
I like it.
That's the
I
best
love
thing.
watching trailers. I go to movie theaters early to watch trailers. I love them.
Because that was going to be my response. It's like, I haven't even watched it.
Well, how did you like it, Josh?
I didn't watch it. That's what
Oh, you didn't watch. I thought you
it.
said you did watch it. Like,
Yeah.
all right, well, there you go. All right. Sorry, Jason, we didn't watch the trailer today. None of us, apparently.
Yeah. Hey, solid question, Jason.
Right? I will say I'm hyped for Anya Taylor-Joy as Magic, because that's one of my favorite X-Men characters of all time. So
She's amazing.
yeah, so it'd be great, and she's a great actress. So I'm excited for that. I just don't want to see any trailers. So yeah. Anyways, next question, Josh. Let's move on.
Next question is from Sun. They ask, what is your favorite Marvel cover to draw that you've drawn?
Oh, let's see. I would say it's actually behind Prague there. My Hunt for Wolverine 4 connecting covers. That took me 160 hours to pencil and ink.
Jeez.
175 figures, and I just got to play. My editor said, Todd, we want to do... Remember when we did Where's Hydra? We want to do Where's Wolverine, 4 times as big. And so we went through our list of characters that were available to use, and I said, George, can I just like not submit a layout and just go for it? And he goes, yeah, Todd, just go for it. So I started at the ground with Nightcrawler versus Juggernaut versus Howard the Duck, and built my way to the sky. I knew Galactus will be at the top because he won't fit anywhere else.
Yep.
And I'll just build
There he
bit
is.
by bit and tell these little micro stories bit by bit all the way up. And it was such it was first daunting. I thought, I don't know if I can do this. And then I was like in the zone. And then by the end, it was like bittersweet. It's like, this journey's almost done. I'm about to drop the ring into Mount Doom, and I'm going to get on a boat with a bunch of elves, and I'm done. It's like, it was actually
nice
a bittersweet
reference.
moment when I got to the end.
Yeah,
I love my Lord of the Rings references.
So it was because I got to draw so many different Marvel heroes and villains and create these matchups that we often see, like Captain America versus Red Skull, and then matchups we'll never see, like Wolverine versus Sandman, or very rarely see. So I got to just play and just like, it was like I had the biggest box of action figures, and I got to just do my matchups and pair ups and confrontations the way I wanted, and just think about what would each character do in this little situation that I'm putting them in.
Nice. So this is 1, 2, 3. So that's 4 double page spreads put together.
No, it's four individual covers.
Oh, okay. So it's not it's not the front cover, back cover, front cover, back cover. Okay.
That is bad.
Okay. And they were the variant cover to the first issue of the 4 Return of Wolverine miniseries.
Okay.
Oh.
So if you got all 4 of those covers, you could put them together and make the one giant image. Hey. And Marvel also released it as a poster as well.
Put them together, and what do you got? A poster. Very nice.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I remember I saw Art Adams do his one where he did like multiple, like
the Spider-Man ones.
I don't know, it wasn't Spider-Man, it was like every single character in like the Marvel universe, and I actually got to see it in person as he inked it live. It was just unreal. Yeah. I've never seen anything that big in my life. It was just like so many double page spreads all over the place.
Wow.
I don't know how you guys do. Like, how do you come up with a composition like that? You just kind of go. You're just like, you know what? I'm starting here, and screw it. I'm just gonna figure it out as I go.
We discussed let's make the setting Madripoor, so I could have all these weird shaped buildings to create ledges and stuff for people to stand on, because not everyone's a flyer and the ground is like down here, so I have to have levels for people to stand on, and then put people in the sky and stuff. So I just knew work my way into the sky. It's like I didn't even lay it out.
Josh, what do you got there? Oh,
you can't see background. It now. He has it.
Let me take it off real quick.
There you go.
Yeah, I was like, that looks so familiar.
Wait a second, I swear I've seen it before. Yeah, there it is. Nice detail work to it too, up close. Yeah. I like it.
Oh my goodness. Don't bend it, Josh.
Neeson is asking us to reintroduce the guests, please. This is Todd Nauck, everybody. He is a comic book artist extraordinaire. So
I used to be ordinaire, but I finally got my extra.
Finally.
Upgrade.
Ooh, just that little bit
took
extra.
20 years.
That little
you got it.
Bump up right there, yeah.
I will say that every year at Comic-Con, your booth is always mobbed. I mean, every time I go over there, it's just a mob scene.
Well, it helps when your table is anywhere in San Diego Comic-Con, because there's always a mob around.
Oh my God! No matter where you are,
you just try to pull a few in. Yeah, but thank you. I do appreciate the fan base that comes to see me. And my wife and I always have fun getting to chat with people and have so much fun with that.
Yeah, and you have a lot of positivity and you're fun. So
I try, absolutely. Thank you.
So it looks like we got another question from. I guess I'm not sure who this is, but FL2161998. Nice. What was the worst cover you've ever made? Can you even talk about that?
Well, like I said before, I try not to beat myself up for too much for the stuff I did when I was younger, or the way I tried to draw when I was younger. I was still learning. But, I couldn't say a specific issue that I can recall off the top of my head, because more than likely they're one of the ones from earlier in my career while I was still green and still learning. So it might be one of the ones maybe I did for Rob at Extreme Studios. Might not be as strong of a cover as what I'm doing today. So I couldn't say one specific worst one that I could think of.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I wish I had a better answer for you.
No, that one's fine.
K78893. Forgive me if I mispronounced your name.
Yeah, that's a great name. I like Ed's response. I think that's everyone's favorite droid. Yes. Good one, Ed.
Absolutely.
I like it. All right, Josh, another question.
All right, so another one from Jason. He's going to redeem himself, hopefully. It says, Todd, if you could draw a comic featuring 4 X-Men that are not normally featured on a mainstream team, who would your team be?
Ooh. Whoa. Not usually featured on the mainstream team. Okay. All right. We can get there.
Like Gold Balls. I love that guy.
I
do. It's great. It's fantastic. Never mind.
For me, I would probably say Warlock from the New Mutants for sure.
Yeah.
Longshot from the Australian Outback X-Men.
Nice.
Maybe Boom Boom. Does Boom Boom count?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And a fourth one. That's not. I'm trying to think. Not mainstream. I'm trying to get as obscure as or a little.
It doesn't have to necessarily be that obscure.
Okay, Maggot. Sorry, you're out.
Right.
Golly, I'm trying to think. Maybe. See, it's weird to think like what one considers mainstream title
because
or
the roster has changed so much over the decades. You know, a lot of them have become mainstream X-Men characters too.
So I would maybe say Polaris, but some people might consider Polaris on a mainstream team depending on where you fall with X Factor or whatnot. So right now I'll say those four.
Cool, that's a cool team.
Two guys, two gals.
What would their name be?
Oh, I get to come up with a name?
Team name.
A team name, yeah. What would they be?
Let's see. Well, I got to work an X in there.
Right?
Oh, man. Gosh.
I know, I'm trying to think of anything with an X in it. I don't know.
Yeah, they've done so many now. It's like it's hard to find an X name that hasn't been done. Yeah, you know, any name I come up with, it's like, no, that's lame. X Squad, X Guys,
the Extincture,
X Pals.
Sure.
Extravagant. I don't know. I'm just throwing words.
Anyways, we should probably move on to another question.
Yeah, we could sit here all day.
That was a fun question for you.
That is a good one.
Good job, Jason.
All right, so we have another one from Neeson. He says, "How long have you been a professional artist? And if you could pick one thing to guest illustrate a company or comic you've never worked for, what would it be?"
Let's see. I've been a professional comic book artist for 26 years now, just over 26. Rob hired me in early 1994, and I moved to California to work in his studio in April of 94. So I've been doing it as my living for 26 years now. And a title that I'd like to work on that I haven't worked on before would be something of maybe a Justice League nature that would feature Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. As long as those two are on it, then that's what I want to do.
I bet those characters be fun to draw. Those two, you know, their styles are very retro and kind of fun. In my opinion, I love those characters.
I love the Giffen DeMatteis JLA with Guy Gardner and Batman and Captain Marvel or Shazam now. Fire and Ice.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. I guess technically the first Captain Marvel, but
but you know,
the Wiz Comics guy, that guy.
Yes, there you go.
So,
nice.
So yeah, I love that. I loved how fun that was because there was the humor, but then there was also the danger and excitement and the drama, and so that's why I love doing. One of the many reasons I love doing the Young Justice series, because I felt like we were kind of able to do humor mixed with superhero drama and action, and so it kind of felt like we're the Teen Titans version of the '80s JLA.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow, that's a great way to put it.
Neeson actually threw in there, the year I was born. So,
Neeson, you're making me feel old. Holy cow. I'm like, in 1994, I think I was picking up, was that Spawn #1? Was that year? What was 94?
Spawn was 92.
Jeez,
because I was still in art school at that time.
Okay, so I remember I picked up that in stores because the comic book guy told me to. He's like, "You want to pick up that issue? That's going to be something someday," and he was right.
Wow.
94, man. Yeah.
So
for comics.
I wanted to ask.
The Clone Saga happened in '94. We can say that.
All right, there you go.
Spider-Man, Clone Saga. So anyhow,
I wanted to ask. So you've been doing cons since '94, and I'm guessing you really probably had been doing them pretty regularly since then. What's it like having a year off?
You know, it feels weird because when I work in my studio doing the comics, I'm introverted. Leave me alone. I got to go into my world, do my work. I can't talk. Don't want to interact with anyone. Conventions is my chance to recharge as an extrovert because I kind of test right on the line. So going to conventions allows me to be an extrovert and kind of geek out with people, kind of like what we're doing here. So So I miss that for sure. I miss the travel, getting to see different parts of the country. Occasionally, get to go to a different country, go to a con in London or something like that. Those are rare, but whenever I get that chance, it's a lot of fun to see a different part of the world. But I do mostly U.S. cons. So getting to go to New York and Chicago and Seattle and Dallas, I miss that. So yeah, I've done 0 conventions this year. I've not done a single convention appearance, just because my Gwen Stacy deadline didn't allow me to do the Long Beach, California con that's near me, and everything started getting canceled in March and on. So that's been really weird. One thing I do not miss, though, I can say this, is I don't miss packing all my gear and lugging it across the country or down the freeway to San Diego. So I don't miss that. I spend 3 or 4 days with the prep and packing. That's like luxurious. It's been so nice.
Oh, there you go.
Wow, man. Yeah,
I was about to say, you can't really do digital live in person with people who want commissions to take home. So yeah, you're gonna have to bring all your gear with you.
Yeah.
Right. Bummer. Yeah. Now, do you have? I don't know if San Diego Comic-Con is one of your favorites, but it is your favorite.
It is. Well, I mean, it's legendary.
Outside of San Diego,
yes.
Do you have another con that you enjoy going to?
Absolutely, New York Comic-Con.
Oh,
okay.
Right in the same realm, just on the other coast.
Just on the other coast. I love going to New York City. It's so different than Southern California. It's like I've gone to a completely different universe. These giant buildings, all these people around, and I'll go extra days before and stay extra days after. I was in New York for a week and a half last year for New York Comic Con and for different stuff, and it's just so fun. Not just the convention itself, which is great. The Artist Alley is enormous. It might be one of the biggest artist alleys in the U.S. cons of all. I mean, Emerald City is I love that city too. Love downtown Seattle, but they have a huge artist alley as well. I love going to Chicago C2E2 and get some pizza and the cheese and caramel corn. Oh my gosh, my wife and I eat so much of that when we go to Chicago. So those are some of the cities I like going to.
That's funny.
On a yearly basis.
So I just finished up the show Broad City, and it's totally based in New York. And it's so weird because watching that show, it feels like you said it perfectly, a different universe, because I'm here in San Diego. So everything that's not laid back beach community is a little weird to me.
Yeah.
It's like you guys all live too close. Right? Exactly.
So real quick, I know that we have a lot of other questions, but Neeson actually just wrote something that I thought was kind of funny. Todd, you kind of remind me of Rodney Mullen. Do you skateboard? The reason why I like that is because Rodney Mullen is my absolute favorite skateboarder, and the guy, he's from Florida. He's an awesome skateboarder. I love him, and I could see what he's saying.
I never got into the skateboard culture. I'm not familiar with that guy. I've never tried to skateboard myself. I was a very small. And I was essentially Will Byers growing up. I was like,
oh, me too.
Size.
Hey, twins.
So,
yay.
You put me on a skateboard.
I'm like, what the heck is that? Yeah, I'm like,
my inner ear got jacked up when I was a kid. So I'm lucky if I can walk a straight line. And
I got vertigo. So it's
completely sober,
nice.
Walk a straight line. It's like, so put me on a skateboard. I will break my arms and be out of work. I cannot risk
So you're like the alternate universe version of him, I guess.
Pretty much.
Right?
I mean,
yeah.
I was that exact same age as season 1. Like 1983, I was 12 years old at that time. Everything that show I track with, like step by step. I was that old at that time. It's like, this is
my life.
The same, but for me, I wasn't in where
Indiana.
Where's Hawkins? Indiana. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to say Kansas. That's not right. Indiana. I was down in Texas.
There you go.
I'm like the Texas version of that. It's like, I'm telling my wife, it's like, oh my gosh, all of this. Every year, it's like, that's me. That was the same grade. I had that haircut. Oh my God.
I'm like, I had that haircut. I had those short shorts. I had all those things. I
had the striped Izod polo.
Yes.
Exactly.
I know.
Has anybody ever asked you to do a commission on a skateboard deck? I know that those are really hot right now.
Yeah. I think I have done like a little quick head sketch on a skateboard deck at a convention.
Somebody but not came a full by. Thing like behind me.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, so people will bring like, oh, here's my giant anime sword. Will you draw a little something on there? I'll throw down a little spiky head or whatever. So
Oh, that's cool,
yeah,
man.
Captain America shields. I've drawn on a handful of those. So, but I'm sure I've drawn on a skateboard. I just can't recall. Like, oh yeah, I remember this one skateboard drawing I did. Oh, unfortunately I don't have that, but I'm down to draw on a skateboard. Sure.
That's cool. Yeah.
More so than write it.
I just thought it was funny.
I won't step on it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of other really good questions that aren't weird like that. So
I love the weird questions. I
Make them weird. He said it right here, folks.
Weird. I'll do my best to answer. I'm down.
That's funny.
Before that, Trevor, you have something to share, right?
Ooh, we have something to share.
So, if everybody is keeping track of our Nintendo Switch giveaway, we have the secret code word to
a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
What?
for pretty much Thursday at 7 p.m. during our Artist Alley. Every Thursdays at 7 p.m. we have new artists, so stay tuned for those. But all you have to do is go to the link I just posted, and the keyword is going to be Anchor. That's based on where our podcast resides, Anchor.
Oh,
so
look at that.
we wanted to actually make it up, tied to what we're doing.
Why are we giving away a Switch? Why aren't we giving that to me since everybody else has a Switch except for me?
You can enter. There's no rules
Oh,
against it.
I can enter? Well
Just
then,
saying.
excuse me. You guys continue your interview. Okay. I've got things to do now.
Yeah, hold on. I want to get in on that too.
Yeah, he's like, hold on.
Give Todd the link.
I don't got no Switch.
Good times. Rigged,
awesome.
says Valor. Oh, but there's our artist guest from yesterday. Priscilla's in the chat.
Oh, hello, Priscilla.
She's saying it's rigged.
Cool. Josh, you want to hit him with another question?
Sure. So we have a question from Hey Mr. Rosario. He says,
Mark.
Todd, have you ever considered branching out with your artwork into merch like apparel, pins, keychains, etc.?
I haven't. Oh, actually, I kind of started to a little bit, and then got busy with my deadlines and totally let that slip my mind. So I'd be down for that if I felt I could produce something that people would want.
Right.
Yeah, I'm mostly known for Marvel and DC characters. Young Justice, Spider-Man, Nightcrawler. So it's like I don't have the rights to put that on to merch to sell without getting into, legally getting into trouble. So it's like my creator-owned properties I haven't done a lot with lately. So I don't know if there's a big wild card market out there that I could really get those keychains and cell phone cover cases, moving. So, but I'd like to at least start with some T-shirts if I can at some point someday.
At some point would be nice. I know it's tough too if you're a full-time, artist, working for comics. It's hard to find the time to do that.
Yeah,
right.
So,
Don't need that extra money.
Right?
Man. I'm making a living arting over here. Okay.
Well, what's great is they're the was it like the cafe press style places where you have the art and they'll do the printing and order fulfillment, which it's like that is tempting because if I just have to produce the art and you'll slap it on something and you'll ship it to the person, that helps me create more art and help people who enjoy my work get it in a way that they can wear or have on their tchotchkes, their mug or whatever. Start your morning with a Todd Nauck Red Rover mug. I'm down for that.
I love that term. I don't hear that term enough, but probably because I'm old. Tchotchkes.
Tchotchkes.
Yes.
Love it.
Love
oh
that
my
term.
God. Oh, I know that term, and the fact that you're saying that you're an old person and you know
that means you're old then, Alex. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, dude. I
Young
swear,
people don't know what that word is.
I got gray hairs in my beard, and now I'm like, I think I am getting prog old.
Sorry. It happens to the best of us.
So I actually had a question, and as I was thinking of the question, someone actually just popped it up in here.
Nice.
But do you have like a favorite original character that you've created?
I got that question just this past weekend when I was doing a Instagram Q&A. It's kind of hard to say because like every character is like my baby. These are my children. But
make a choice.
Probably I would say my character Ignacia, because she was one of the very first characters I created that I'm still trying to work with today. I'm trying to get another Wild Guard story going. She was one of the first ones. So she's kind of like currently my first kid. So she holds a special place in my heart.
So is Wild Guard, is that still under Image or is that part of Skybound?
It was not a Skybound story. I did work for Skybound for 2 years, but it's the Todd Nauck creator-owned series.
Nice.
I haven't done anything since 2009, but I have been working on a new one-shot. I got about 14 pages drawn and colored and everything. So I'm hoping to get a one-shot out here in the next, well, hopefully year or two, depending on my schedule. I work on it when I have free time. So fortunately, this pandemic has allowed me to throw some more time towards that.
Great, nice.
Awesome, man.
All right, well, let's get to another question then.
All right.
Yeah,
so
it's funny. We've got so many questions coming in.
That's
I'm
a lot.
sitting here thinking, man, we could probably go over an hour with this guy.
If people want to hang out, I'm willing to go over an hour for
Your
whatever
answers
is
are
reasonable.
fantastic, man. I'm loving it.
Oh, thank you.
So this one's going to go to a different form of art. They said, what are your favorite 80s bands or songs?
Oh,
that's an old, yeah, okay.
well, 80s, that's my
awesome.
wheelhouse. That's my jam.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Like, some of my favorite 80s bands, people might not have heard of as much. I mean, I could say a band like REM, for sure. REM, They Might Be
Right.
Giants. Those are two of my favorites. NXS, love the NXS. So then it's like, I want to get a little more obscure with my favorite Australian bands, so I might throw out the Hoodoo Gurus or, Guadalcanal
Prague.
Diary. So, the Rave Ups. So, those are some of the things. So it's like, I like the top 40. If I hear a Madonna song, I'm going to crank it up. Hear a Prince song, crank it up. Motley Crue, crank it up now. I was not a metalhead as a kid, but now it's nostalgia rock to me.
It's nostalgia.
Did you-
Bring me that stuff. That commercial with the rat, when they have the rat problem, and it's actually the band Rat in the house.
The banner?
I haven't
It's
seen
so
that.
awesome. Oh, I forget which. I think is it Progressive or Geico? It's one of them, and it's this couple saying, "Oh, we bought the new house. It's great, but it has a rat problem." And then
The rat
Rat,
comes in.
the
Yeah, I
actual
remember
band
this.
Rat, is singing round and round
yeah, that's
in
a
the
new one
bathroom,
that's out
in
right
the
now.
kitchen.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yep.
I told my wife, it's like, I never liked that song before, but now I love it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's awesome, man.
I'm sure you can find it online. Just search
Yeah, I'm
Rat,
gonna have to
search
look that
Rat
up.
commercial, and I'm sure it'll come up on YouTube
Yeah.
real fast.
That's hilarious. All right, another one. That was a fun one.
Okay, so this one, this is what single issue comic do you consider the most memorable or influential for you as a fan?
Let's see. Golly. I'd probably say, like, influential, like, art-wise, New Mutants Special Edition #1.
Oh, yeah. I would
That
assume
Arthur
so.
Adams art was just amazing. Such a fun story. It's a big, beefy comic. Just a great story, great art. Just great all around. I could read that over and over again. I actually do.
Mm.
But one story that was just so memorable that just kind of rocked me to my core was Amazing Spider-Man issue 2, I believe it's 248, The Kid Who Collects Spider-Man. That story
Yes.
was so powerful. It was unlike any other Spider-Man story I had read as a kid.
Good choice.
The first half of the story is a John Romita Jr. Draw. It's like two short stories. The first story is John Romita draws a story of Spider-Man versus Thunderball from the Wrecking Crew. Fun superhero slugfest for 12 pages. Then it's The Kid Who Collects Spider-Man, drawn by Ron Frenz, written by Roger Stern, and it was such an emotionally powerful story. I don't want to give away too much. I want people to read it because you can ask most any. I was on a panel filled with Spider-Man artists at a convention. It was Mexico City, and they posed the question, "What are your top 3 Spider-Man stories?" I'd say at least half of the panel, if not more, listed that one story as one of their top 3 favorite Spider-Man stories.
Nice.
So it's definitely one that should be read. If you have the Marvel Universe app, look up Amazing Spider-Man 2. Pretty sure it's 248 or 249. I'm pretty sure
I
it's
think
248.
I think you're right. I think it's 248. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fantastic one.
Yeah. So that one, it just the twist at the end got me. I'd never been so emotionally moved as a teenager.
Yeah, Spider-Man around that time too just had like a really great. I don't know who was like writing all the stories throughout that time period. There was like a lot of good twists at the end of each one that kind of packed a punch. I remember, and I was like a kid back then. I'm like, wow, this is really deep, kind of stuff.
Totally.
It was great.
Totally. Yeah. Especially that one. It really moved me.
Very nice. All right.
Great question.
Yeah. All right, Josh, next.
All right. So next one is from Ed. He says, what is your feeling on people getting your artwork tattooed on their body?
It's ultimately an honor that someone would be willing to scar their body with a picture that I drew, that it would be that permanent. So that is I'm very honored that people would enjoy my work that much.
Oh, that would be great. You meet up with one of those people and then they ask you to sign underneath it and then
Tattoo
they
it
get
over?
that tattooed. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that idea.
It's interesting because our previous artist was like, "Oh, I would hate to run into somebody who tattooed my art on their body just because I would see my art change. Like, it's permanently fixed in whatever my art style is now, but it might be different in 10 or 15 years."
True.
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Wow, we
Good
were
point.
kind of just talking about that, weren't we?
It all comes full circle. All right. Anyways, next up, Josh.
All right, so this next one, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but it's: would you be interested, if the opportunity has ever been offered yet, in seeing figures/statues done based on your artwork?
I would enjoy that. I'd love to have some Wild Guard action figures, Jack-O-Lantern action, my characters as action figures. Absolutely, because I'd sit there and play with them all day. I did get to design the Young Justice statues back when I was doing Young Justice.
good.
So they did the Marvel maquettes. So it's a Impulse, a Robin, and a Superboy, and they all kind of fit together to make one kind of little diorama. So I have gotten to have my art translated in 3-dimensional before, and DC was kind enough to send me my own complimentary set of those 3 statues. And that was a thrill, but that was like 20 years ago, so I'm overdue. I need some more of my art constructed in 3D, and if I get some action figures, oh my goodness, I'd love it.
Oh, sure.
Talk to NECA. Ooh, they're my favorite right now. I'm like on a super NECA
NECA be
kick.
good. Maybe a Todd McFarlane. I don't know.
Is it Todd McFarlane who he makes?
He does some good toys too. So
Yeah, he does pretty good. He does really detailed toys, which is great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you got a good question again.
Joshy.
All right. So this is
Fire
going to be my last
questions
one I'm
in the
going to
chat.
ask. Yeah. So this one is from Hey Mr. Rosario. If you were to create a comic book featuring the Todd, what superpowers would you have? Yourself.
Yourself.
Yeah, if I was
The
the
Todd.
character in my self-titled comic, what would my powers be? I
You'd be a
joked about this before.
skateboarder.
Finally, I can live my dream of being a skateboarder without getting hurt.
Finally, I can walk a straight line.
I have the power of balance.
Yes.
Unlike real me. There's so many different types of powers that I think are cool. Like when I was a little kid and I first saw the Flash, I thought running fast, that's an attainable superpower.
Okay.
You get a new pair of sneakers. You always run fast when you get a new pair of sneakers.
Of course.
So that was one of the first powers I wanted to have.
I'm imagining a little kid going, "Look at me run, Dad! I got my new sneaks on."
You can run faster, jump higher when you get your new sneakers every time. Then they wear out, and then you need a new pair so you can re-up your
Especially if you
skills.
pump them up,
Oh,
yeah.
when pumping technology kicked in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so great. But one power I've always joked about when I got this question a while back is someone said, if someone made an action figure of you, what would your action feature be? I said hydro arms. My arms turn into big torrents of water. So that's my kind of joke answer. And it's one that's always kind of stuck with me. It's like, that'd be, if I were like in the Tick universe, what would my power be?
I just say it sounds like that kind of universe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
Yeah.
Kind of funny humor.
I also
stuff.
like the
it.
idea of telekinesis, being able to move things with my mind and move myself, simulate flying, but through telekinesis. So if I were to give like a legit Marvel Universe answer, telekinesis.
There you go. I love telekinesis. That's kind of my jam. So nice. I like it. Let's see what else we have in the chat.
Yeah, we got another question, and I believe it is from Mark again. Going back to Todd's roots, is anyone in the family an artist within that field, or was he the only one to become an artist?
I'm the only one to become an artist in this sense, a storyteller, drawing characters, telling stories visually. My father designed and built houses, so he has a very technical draftsman sort of bent to him, and it was a job it was a dream job that he decided to pursue later on in life. Not that much later on. He was into his 30s, so he did a boring sales job through his 20s, and then he had us kids and got into doing the career he wanted. And so he gave me the bit of advice when I was 17 years old: take a shot at your dreams. Might work out, it might not, but the only disappointment is if you don't try. So try. So he's artistic. My mom, she would do arts and crafts stuff just for fun. My younger sister is a professional photographer, and then my other sister, she's good with like interior decorating, though she doesn't pursue that for a living, but she kind of has a creative bent to her. But the one that makes it actually draws for a living, yeah, it's just me.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's a lot of artists,
art
though.
in there. That's amazing.
Yeah, I hear a lot about the draftsman aspect to a lot of artists' background too. Like their parents were draftsmen, and that's how they learned kind of the style, and then they kind of created their own path from there. So
yeah.
Neat.
It seems folks are starting to get pretty comfortable with you because here comes more of the fun questions. Like favorite ice cream flavor.
It changes. Currently, I'm a butter pecan guy.
Oh yes.
Really? Butter pecan.
I love butter
pecan.
Hated
it as a kid, love it now.
Oh, maybe I'm not too old then. All right.
Depends on my opinion.
I was thinking the same thing.
Frog and Todd, they like that butter pecan. They must be old.
You kids want some butterscotch? I got a whole bag.
Wait, butterscotch is on the table? No one told me
I know. That. Wait a second. Yeah, hold on. Some Werther's Original?
That's a great candy.
That is a great candy. Heck yeah, man.
Not Necco wafers, though. Necco wafers are the...
That's the devil.
I sit next to Norm Ratman, inker Norm Ratman. He
and
I
love
have been
Norman.
buddies
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Since Extreme Studio days. And so people will bring him candy because he's always posting about how he loves candy. So he's always getting candy brought to him. And he loves Necco wafers. So someone brought him some Necco wafers, like the big ones.
Yes.
Like it's not just the little candy hearts from Valentine's Day. It's the big
wafers
size.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey Todd, want a Necco wafer?" It's like, have I ever had one of those? I didn't realize it was like those candy hearts Valentine's candies. Grab it, chomp on it. It's like, Norm, you just ruined my San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
I just got a mouthful
of what chalk. Is this chalk?
It's totally chalk.
Minty chalk. It's like, I just spit this on a pool cue. This is terrible. You've ruined it.
I want to say Norm.
All the time now.
I want to say Norm asked me to do that once too, because I had him do like a Robin for me a few years ago, and I'm like, no, like I'll bring you something else. I forgot what I brought him, but it wasn't that.
It's like Norm, this is the candy before people knew that candy could be good.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
They had no idea they were, nothing around.
It's before they discovered sugar. I don't know. It's just like
right.
So that actually makes me not the candy part, but you were mentioning other artists, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, who do you have an artist that would be like your dream to work with?
Well, yeah, like any of the guys that I grew up being inspired by. So Arthur Adams, Rick Leonardi, Alan Davis, Walter Simonson. Doing some sort of collaboration with them would be a thrill. Maybe getting to ink their pencils, kind of like how McFarlane inked some Rob Liefeld covers, like that first appearance of Cable. This just had such a striking look to it because there was that Rob Liefeld flavor, but then you had that McFarlane sheen on top of it. Yeah. That would be kind of a fun, having an opportunity like that to either have them ink me or I get to ink them.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Good call. I like
they can ink me too.
Like one of those French girls?
like one of your French girls. Yeah.
Nice call.
Well, I'm just gonna ask it because this comes up so much.
Oh no, you're not gonna
in just about every podcast, this always comes up. Pineapple on pizza. Yes, yay or nay?
I'm a yay. I like that sweet flavor. Absolutely. My wife and I are now. It's not my favorite, but I don't turn my nose up at it.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. I know some people hate it. That's okay.
There you go.
See? Yeah. I think we're all pretty just. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. But I know that there's a lot of people out there that love asking that question, so we figured we'd ask anyways.
Yeah. No. I am happy to talk about any pizza toppings.
There you go.
Really?
Well, let's
get
back.
Pizza topping.
Let's not derail this from comics too far, because we do have a good question.
I agree.
Fair enough. Yes, thanks for keeping on track.
We have a good question from Jason again. He wants to ask you what your favorite version of Kitty Pryde is.
Oh, I would say the Excalibur era. Early Excalibur would probably be my favorite. So the Shadowcat blue costume would probably be my favorite.
It's a pretty choice.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. All right.
That was the one I kind of grew up with.
Right. Yeah, same here. So it makes sense,
girlfriend, of the late 1980s.
Yeah, mine was Rogue, but yeah.
Yeah.
Kitty Pryde. Okay. It's about that Southern thing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well,
The
I lived in the
boots,
South, so the Southern thing
You're like,
is like
I'm
that's
used to
just white
that.
noise for me.
Yeah. Give me
Live right
something
next
else.
to, so it's just like, well, how them Chicago girls? Tell
There
me
you go.
more
How
about
about
them.
those northern girls? What are they like? There you go.
Never been to Illinois, but I like this kitty girl.
There
What's
you
she?
go.
What's she about?
Yeah, she's spicy and fiery. I like her. Let's see what else we got. Psylocke, Sasan. For what?
Sorry,
For
my
Sun, you're
chat
saying
just
that?
disappeared on me, so now
No,
I
I'm reading the
lost
chat.
all
I
the
was all like,
questions.
"What is
I
what?"
love-
I'm trying to figure out why Sun is. Oh, Sun was saying that he likes Psylocke, which makes sense. Yes, of course. And then Mazario's wondering if he's ever painted or drawn on other material besides canvas and paper. Like, have you ventured outside of traditional art?
Let's see. I haven't done anything like with oils.
Okay.
I learned some of that in like an after-school program when I was a little kid. Hated it. I wasn't ready for that level of painting as a fourth grader. I do watercolor every now and again.
Do you? Okay.
I'll pencil and ink something and like a picture of Colossus and then throw down some watercolor.
Nice.
I'm working on my digital skills. I'm trying to get those going. So that's another medium I'm working in. But I love drawing superhero stuff. So that's just what I have a passion for and is fun for me. That's my work and my play. So I haven't gotten into like portraiture or landscapes necessarily. Not opposed to it. Just, I don't know. I'm not that old yet to be out there painting a sunset.
But hey, look at Destin Nguyen's artwork. I mean, he works in watercolor and he does superheroes, so it can work.
Absolutely. Yes.
A few years I'm going to run into you in Montana and you're sitting there.
I screwed that up.
Sick of drawing the X-Men.
Yes. Part of it.
I'm Bob Rossing it to the grave.
Everything's a bird, damn it. You're a bird.
So Sunshine, he's got a pretty good question. What crossover Marvel versus DC would you like to draw?
Very easy question to answer. It's one I've actually thought about actually trying to give a go, like just do it as a fan piece. My favorite era, Justice League, meeting the 80s era X-Men. So the Giffen DeMatteis Justice League and the late 80s X-Men. The Australian Outback X-Men, probably those two would probably line up roster-wise, being at the same time frame. So that'd be a lot of fun for me.
Okay.
I've even thought of the story. I've even played out the story in my head.
Wow.
I won't share it now. Right? That's to come.
No, don't share it. Just in case it might happen someday. You might get tapped to like write it or something.
Well, all we need is Disney to buy DC, and then it'll happen.
Yes. And I'm sure it's bound to happen within the next 10 years.
It's on the verge.
I invited CB to this, so he might be watching and going like, "Hey, that's a great idea. I should probably pitch that for like a new series or something." This is a good question because I kind of want to know because I haven't had a chance to read it yet. Jason was asking, "Are you reading any of the new House of X, the X-Men relaunch?"
Yes, I am, and I'm enjoying it. I
Okay.
do. I would say New Mutants is my favorite because it captures that 80s fun flavor that I remembered reading as a kid. I'd say of all the X books. I mean, I enjoy them, but New Mutants I think is right now my number one favorite.
Cool. All right. Yeah,
because it pretty much has the classic roster. It has all the old New Mutants. And
is this
so
they're the ones that have the team that's displaced from the past that came to the fore? How are they doing it in that book? I haven't read this series yet at all, so I have no idea.
You haven't read the New Mutant series?
Not the new one that's been out since like the last few months. No.
Yeah, so it's all the original New Mutants.
Okay.
And a couple of the Gen Xers, and they are having adventures.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's tough because I haven't been out to a comic book shop in several months. So
I think do you have the Marvel Universe app? I think the first
no, but I
two
think I'm
issues are
going to
on
have to. So I'm going to probably download that. I like the physical aspect of comic books. Is my thing, but I might have to and not have a choice.
Yeah.
You know.
Mountain Meg has a fantastic question, which is I find it funny. What was the story behind you dressing up as older Peter Parker from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? She cannot unsee this now, and it's awesome.
True, I can now. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I see it too.
I enjoy. I'm still a fan at heart, still a geek, and so at conventions, I'd meet all these different cosplayers walk by, and like, oh, take a photo of a cosplayer, then take a photo with a cosplayer. And then it's like, I don't want to just stand and smile next to, this awesome looking Nightcrawler or Jean Grey. I want to get into a battle pose too. So I started doing my Scott Summers cosplay. In fact, where are they? I was doing this on my live stream earlier. I started with the ruby quartz shades and do the Walter Simonson frown.
Nice.
I'm Scott Summers. Then I punched it up to the visor, Scott Summers. I wear my X-Men school shirt and throw on a flannel, and now I'm Scott Summers. So, so I started with that. Then I became Sean Spencer from Psych, which is dress how I normally do and carry a pineapple around.
There you go.
That led to being the 10th Doctor of Doctor Who. I got a suit and I started doing 10th Doctor cosplay. Okay. And so I do these casual and then some kind of legit cosplays. I've been Bazooka from G.I. Joe and Multiple Man from X Factor. And then when the Spider-Verse trailer came out, I wasn't going to watch it because I don't watch trailers. And someone said, "You look like Peter Parker from Spider-Verse." And I'm like, "No, I don't. Peter Parker has a very square face. It's more rounded. I have a long face." I go and I look at the trailer and it's like, holy crap, they gave Peter Parker a long face. And he's like, dad bod.
Yes.
My age, my physique, and my genetics line up perfectly with this character. I dove in head first in early 2019 doing full-on Peter B. Parker cosplay. And
that's awesome.
And people just ate it up. They say, "What day are you, Peter B. Parker? I want to come by for a photo." And so I've done it at least once a day at every con in 2019, twice at the New York Comic Con, and I've fully embraced it. I'm living the Peter B. Parker lifestyle and loving it.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to look out for that now because I'm gonna have to get a picture.
Please do.
I'm starting to get the dad bod too myself, so I'm probably gonna be looking into that cosplay too.
Shoot me an email. I'll give you all my links to how I put it all together.
There you go.
I love that. Hey man, we could become best friends. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. We'll have our own personal clone saga. It's good.
I love
it.
Perfect. I don't know. I think this is Priscilla actually who said this. Vancer Toys.
It's Vancer Toys.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
They were on Geek together earlier.
Oh, very cool. Okay, I'm sorry that I didn't catch that. This guy is amazing. This interview is quenching my SDCC thirst.
Ooh.
Success.
That's the whole point why we do this, right?
Love it.
We're nailing it, guys.
We're doing it.
Now it's going to go downhill from here.
Oh yeah.
That's the way it is.
Because of what? We're only a minute away from hitting our hour point.
Well, unfortunately. Because Ed does say he can hang out with this guy all the time. So that's a compliment.
Thanks,
really
Ed.
nice one. Yeah. Ed's a good guy, too. So I agree, Ed.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
And I think that's why you have that mob every year at Artist Alley around your tables. You're just a fun guy who loves comics just as much as everybody else,
Yeah, come on.
That's why you're doing it.
Keep comics fun. That's the
go.
jam,
Keep comics fun. We should put that on a red hat.
No, wait. I don't know.
Let me explain myself.
Make comics fun again. Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. I gotta go.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Scott Summersing it out of here. All right. Oh, wait, that's more like the Scott Summers after he killed Xavier. There you go. That's that look.
Oh,
let me get out of here.
Wow, way to bring it down, man.
Sorry.
Very cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on our show, Todd. And coming by
I had a
talking
great
with us.
time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we
You
had a
guys
great
are
time
awesome.
too.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was a ton of fun.
Yeah, so check him out, guys, online. Where can they find you online?
Let's see. You can find me at Todd Nauck on Instagram and Twitter. I'm on YouTube, and I'm doing my San Diego Comic-Con Artist Alley Table YouTube art live streams.
Nice.
You can find my programming schedule on toddnauck.com. I'm doing 2 live streams each day. I did 2 today. You can see them on my YouTube channel now. I've got 2 for tomorrow, Saturday. And, that's right. And so come check me out on YouTube, and we're having a lot of fun there. So
cool.
That's about it.
All right. Well, there you go. All right, Trevor. Then I guess it's up to you. Where we raiding next?
Mark does ask if you have any exclusives or anything specific for the con.
I don't have any exclusives. My morning art live streams, I'm doing Post-it note illustrations. Where's the one I did today?
Oh, we do that too.
So
Oh, it's not that detailed though. Okay.
so this is a giveaway. At the end of the live stream, you answer the first one to answer my trivia question wins
Yeah.
the post-it. So this Colossus was won
Nice.
today. So
Nice.
that's kind of a giveaway I'm doing in the morning live streams here during San Diego Comic-Con weekend. So that's about it. And then the piece I do in the afternoon, I did this magic piece.
Yes, magic.
For the afternoon live stream, and
Yeah.
afterwards, the first email in gets the first chance to buy. So this one's sold right away. So that's about all I'm able to offer at this time. I am doing my stay-at-home con commissions. I've been doing them since April. I'm wrapping up Wave 2, so I'm hoping to open up for Wave 3 in August. And that info, you can see the Wave 1 and 2 info on toddnauck.com, which is just like a post or two down. And when I'm able to reopen, I'll be posting an announcement of what day and time that list will open, because it fills crazy fast. So I try to keep it limited, but sometimes the emails get away from me, so it's hard to shut it down at a reasonable time. So I get a lot of requests, fortunately. So I appreciate that.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Cool. And everybody in here should know where to find us as well. We're the Secondary Heroes. Are we going to be throwing it over to Geek Together at this point?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not live yet. All right, well,
Hey, let's keep talking with Todd then.
All right. Was there another question?
Is there any questions from
Everybody
the chat?
was losing their mind. Mountain Meg says you've got a new follower / subscriber all around right here. That's awesome. Very cool.
Appreciate it, Mountain Meg.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
sorry,
the way we
sorry,
have
Megan.
it set up, the Nerd Unite
Yeah.
Network can host Geek Together.
Okay.
It's really interesting about rating stuff and that whole thing.
Oh, does the raid not work?
It does.
Should
Okay.
we raid Geek Together or raid the Nerds Unite Network?
No, we can raid Geek Together. I'm just saying we have it inherently set up that this is going to be recorded on Twitch, so it doesn't have to end right at the hour. You can tell the
Oh,
chat
gotcha.
their decision of what to do. That's all.
Okay. Well, there you go. So the chat can decide. I mean, Todd can decide. Anybody can decide, I guess, what they want to do. There you go. All right. So we have some time to chill out for a minute if you want. I guess.
If
that
you
you're
want
saying,
to
Trevor?
keep chatting, it's up to you, Todd.
Oh, great. Then there you go.
Yeah, I'm good for another 15 or so.
Sweet. There you
Sweet.
go.
I got
So
an
any
extra
last-minute
15
questions?
as well.
Yeah, everybody in the chat, we're gonna send you over to Geek Together. You can choose. You open up both browser or tabs in your browser on your phone, however you want to do it, and we'll send you over there. But you can. It's gonna send all the chat over there, but you can come back. We're still gonna be live. I don't think it disconnects us.
We're gonna Thanos snap you, and we'll see what happens.
Benjamin said,
stay
I
here.
just came from Geek Together.
Yeah, Josh
know what to tell
went
ya.
over to Geek Together. They're talking about Figpin for the next hour,
there
and
you
we'll
go. That's
have
why he
more
dipped.
artist alleys going on. But yeah, we're gonna still be here. We'll see how this works.
Just for
I
a
have
few
no
minutes, we'll see
idea.
what happens.
Todd, Jason did just ask, what is a cool SDCC tradition that you miss this year?
Good question.
Let's see, the Marvel Party. Getting to see my friends at Marvel at their get together, so I'm missing that. Preview night, the preview night fundraiser that we do for Hero Initiative at a pizza bar on Wednesday night, so I'm missing that. And just the drive down to San Diego, because I'm up in Orange County, so my wife and I have a nice hour-and-a-half drive down the 5. And that's a lovely drive. So especially when we get the chance to see the ocean there. So even the drive down is kind of has become a tradition for my wife and I, because her first San Diego Comic Con was 1997 when we were still dating.
Wow.
So we've been doing them
Nice.
together since '97. So yeah, those are some of the things I think off the top of my head.
Awesome.
And of course,
Well,
seeing everybody.
Now, do you have like a favorite restaurant that you love to frequent when you come to San Diego? When you come to my part of the woods?
Let's see. It's rough on San Diego Comic Con weekend because every restaurant is full.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So sometimes you just scramble to find something to eat. And so our little, wow, we can actually get in within like 10, 15 minutes and be seated sort of place was the Fox Sports Grill over at the Hilton Bayfront
Oh, geez.
Hotel.
Oh,
No one knew
no.
about it. And then it shut down last year. We went there last year. It's like, sweet, we know where we can go in, get dinner. Because by the end of the day,
Right.
I'm just like drained. I need food. Wizard needs food,
Food.
stat.
Yeah.
And we was like, let's hold it over. But Dawn's like, I'll head over to the Fox Bar. You drop the stuff off in the room. By the time you get down, I'll be seated. And so I'm dropping stuff off in the room, and she's texting me. She goes, it's gone. The whole thing is gone.
Oh, jeez.
But one place that when I was working for DC Comics, the editors would always take us to Rio de Janeiro. Then I did a bunch of mango, sliced mango. Oh, that was a great way to end San Diego Comic-Con weekend.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, there was a place I used to go to every year that also closed down. It was called Mint Thai. That was up on, I think, 5th or 4th. And I would always have the mango rice, sweet rice dessert too. Just great.
Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah.
It was always in season during Comic-Con, so we always happened to have it. So I was like,
that's cool.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Bummer all these places
when it comes
down,
down, when it comes to the food part, I mean, I usually just come home to eat, but there's a great, there's a place, Coin Op. I love going to Coin Op because you can sit there and play arcade games, and if you want chicken fingers and beer, you can have chicken fingers and beer. Actually, I don't know if you've heard of this place, but they have this giant wall. Like, so the wall is like pushed in a good 10 feet, and then they've got a big plexiglass, and they have this room set up like an old 80s bedroom, with bunk beds, all 80s toys. They've got a TV set up with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and all the stuff like that, the Segas. Then they've got a mini fridge, and you can actually go in there and hang out, and it's the coolest thing. I absolutely love going there. Yeah,
that is cool. And I'm glad next time when we're free to leave the house and go to places safely, I want to check out this Coin Op place. I had no idea this place existed.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is
awesome.
really cool.
Love that.
And the funny thing is they started making their own. Oh goodness gracious! My wife buys these still. The pouches. What are those pouches?
Oh, Capri
Suns. Yeah, but they have theirs filled with booze. Yeah, so you
they
get
have them
Capri
specially
Suns
made?
filled. Yes. Because even on the label, it says Coin Op Capri Sun or Coin Op Capri, whatever, because they can't use the Capri Sun name.
Right.
But yeah, man.
That's cool.
You know those old, Gatorade tubs? They were orange or whatever. So you can buy they made their own Coin Op versions of those, but they fill it with booze. So it's you pay $50 initially, and they just load it up with booze. And then you can get it refilled for $20. So yeah, dude, if you want to get hammered, let's go to Coin Op, dude.
That'll do it.
Gosh. Wow. How long has this Coin Op been in business? How long have they been running?
They've been around for a while.
Have they?
Really? How have I not heard about this?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I heard you talk about it, but not before then.
They've been around at least 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, so I mean, that's 4 or 5 Comic-Cons that
exactly
we could have gone to. Yeah.
It's surprising that no one I've ever been to with Comic-Con has ever even known about that place. At Comic-Con.
Oh, really?
It's never mentioned. It's not in any blogs. It's nothing about it.
I tried talking Corgi into setting up the weekly or the yearly party at Coin Op, but I guess they asked for too much money. They'll
do it.
Pretty pricey. Yeah.
But
look them up online, dude. They're really cool. Yeah.
I will do that.
Really nice guys, too. That's what I really liked.
Well, we do have a real question in the chat, real quick.
Oh, come on. But I like these fake ones.
No. So Shozumi asked, Todd, how did you get started with the Heroes Initiative? Because one of my Comic-Con traditions is to go to Bar Basic and to watch you and other artists draw. Auction off their stuff.
Yeah. I just met Jim McLaughlin, who heads up Hero Initiative at the SoCal Cons years and years ago. He'd reach out to those of us exhibiting in Artist Alley, see if we could, donate some art or participate in the 100 cover project. So I started doing stuff for them at least 10 or more years ago. And then and I worked with Gabe El Tayyib on the Invincible Universe series for Robert Kirkman. He was the colorist to my line art. And so that's where we first met and became friends and worked together for 12 months. And so he when he started up this comic kickoff party, I was one of the first people he invited. I think he and I are the only two that have done it every year since he started. Some other artists would rotate in and rotate out, but he and I are the two consistent this whole time. And it's been a really fun way to start the thing. So thank you to the question asker for spending your preview night with us.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great way to kick it off.
Yeah,
Shizumi. Did that come from Shizumi? Sorry, I can't read. Words come out of my mouth in jumbled.
And Finest Funko says, "Man, I love me. Was it La Nidi Pizza in Little Italy?" La Nidi, I don't know that place.
So I hope you guys don't mind. I'm gonna step away. My mom is calling me, and she's in Florida. So 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11 o'clock her time. So
okay,
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
I might not be here anymore, so we'll see. Hope that's okay.
Hope that's okay. Yeah,
9, 10, 11. You never know. I know they're getting like a tropical depression down there. I don't know what that means.
Really?
So who knows? I don't know. Alex sounded like he was drunk, says Gary in the chat. Okay, well, there you go. That's funny. Who do you usually like? I'm trying to remember your row. Like, do you usually have like a person that you sit next to? Is it always Norm, or is it something else?
It's always Norm. Yes. When I first started exhibiting at Artist Alley, Norm wasn't, and I was like, Norm.
Okay.
He's like, hey Todd, do you ever exhibit in Artist Alley? He's like, Norm, you got to come in. You're going to have a good time. He goes, I'll do it if they'll let me sit next to you. It's like, I'll put you down as who I want to sit next to. You put me down. And they started seating us together. And I think it's been 10 years. It was 10 years ago exactly, because we took a photo on the Sunday at the end of the con, sitting on the floor in front of our tables the first year he did it. And he wanted to recreate that photo so he could do the 10-year, 2009, 2019 photo. So we've been sitting together for 10 years. And when they restructured the alley into what it is now, we've been in the I row ever since. And I've been in that spot for at least 9 years.
Yeah, it's kind of nice about someone who does, like myself, who goes to Comic-Con every year after year, is you kind of know where your artist is because they tend to pick the same spots, you know?
Yeah.
It's and like, I know where those is. Yeah.
Yeah, they would put me there. You know, once they kind of, the first year they put me in the I row, like 8, 9 years ago, they like kept me there. And it's like, I'm so thankful for it.
Yeah,
so
it worked.
It's nice to know that people know to find me here.
Right.
And even this year, my application, if you look me up on the this year's Comic-Con website, I'm I01, Norm's I02. It's like they still have us in our spots that we would have been in this year. We're still labeled as such. So
nice.
So that's cool. So I appreciate that the Artist Alley staff are thoughtful like that and keeping things as consistent as possible for those that do return every year.
I agree.
From my experience.
Very nice. Yeah, do you have time for one more question?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So Kevin P. West in the chat is asking, I think my favorite character that Todd draws is Nightcrawler. Are there any plans of maybe doing another Nightcrawler series?
I would totally be down for that. I don't know what, the X Office has planned. If they were to reach out to me, it'd be an immediate yes. I love Nightcrawler. He's one of my all-time favorite X-Men. Love the character ever since the 80s. So I would more than be happy to do another Nightcrawler series. In fact, back when I was doing the Nightcrawler series, we were essentially we were an ongoing until the Secret Wars happened. And so the Secret Wars ended our series and all the other solo series at that time. So I was heartbroken when my editor called and said, yeah, we're ending with issue 12. It's like, no, we were going to be the Nightcrawler series to get past 12 issues because he's had a 4-issue miniseries and 2 12-issue miniseries. I wanted to break the 12 barrier.
Right?
He goes, well, there's a chance we might need one more issue depending on what happens with Secret Wars. So it's like, if we can get to 13, I'll take it. And that didn't come to pass. So we ended at 12. So we are the third 12-issue Nightcrawler solo series. But yeah, and if I could work with Chris Claremont again on that, that'd be so much fun to get the band back together.
Yeah. It would be a lot of fun. Well, Gary says he would love to see you also return to Young Justice because that's where he fell in love with your art. So,
thank you.
Of course, everyone has that.
I miss those. Those were my kids. 5 years working with them. I had such a deep affection for those characters. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure they kind of get lost in your head and become kind of your inner voice. I would assume over those years. They're
it's rough when Impulse is your inner voice in your head.
Right.
Gets you in a lot of trouble. You end up in the
wait
Shark
a second,
Tank
what's going on? Yeah.
At SeaWorld. So it's like.
Well, we'll bring him on and tell him you said that. Just kidding. Just kidding. We won't do that. That'd be mean. Well, I don't know if we don't have too many other people in the chat, so it's up to you if you have anything else, any parting words.
I want to say
Anybody?
one thanks to you guys, y'all. When Trevor sent me the links to a couple of your shows, I watched them, and it's like you guys have fun. You're good natured. It looks like you treat your guests well. You treat each other well. There's the good natured ribbing amongst
Of
friends.
course.
Which I'm totally down for, and as we've experienced tonight here.
Yep.
So thanks for the work that y'all do. Thanks for inviting me. I'm so glad that I
Of
get to be a
course.
part of this and part of your San Diego weekend. So I wish nothing but the best for you guys. Blessings on you and the fun and work that y'all are doing. I hope your channel continues to grow and y'all reach a wider and wider audience. Keep having fun. Keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome.
And keep being
Wow,
friends,
I just
like
showed
y'all.
up at the right time.
Yeah, as long as we can keep highlighting artists. If you want to let other artists know to check out Secondary Heroes.
Yeah, we'd
Yeah.
love to have them on. Anybody that wants to come on and needs to promote their stuff, they're bored at home. They're like, oh, no Comic-Con this year. Yeah, we're always happy to host people.
Cool. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'll be
There you
happy
go.
to give y'all a good review. I can definitely say I had a great experience for sure.
oh, thank you.
Oh,
Verklempt?
you, Todd.
Are you verklempt, Alex?
He is verklempt.
oh,
Freaking
I need to
boy.
go ice myself.
awesome.
All right, I
Well,
think
cool.
that's everything for tonight.